Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today we are back with another video, and this time is going to be something a little bit different. So I was going through some of my previous videos and then I saw this makeup tutorial that I recorded. It was my first ever makeup video. So I thought, let's recreate your first ever makeup video. This was just over 3 years ago, and obviously my makeup style and makeup techniques have changed to how I used to do them. So I thought it would be interesting to see how it would look if I recreated it with my current skills and current techniques. So yeah, let's just get right into it. Okay, so I'm going to be looking at it on the screen and basically doing it step by step. I don't remember 100% of what's involved in it, but I mean, I have like a box of makeup next to me, so I'm just gonna grab out of that box basically what I can use in the video, and let's see if anything's the same as well. That'll be interesting to see after 3+ years if I do things the same. I will put a little snippet on the screen up here. The music that is playing in here is copyrighted, so probably won't play much of that music in this video. This was when I used to be obsessed with kizomba music, so I'm gonna watch it and then yeah. Can I just quickly guys, look how different my skin is compared to what it was before. This is what I'm saying, my hyperpigmentation was serious. I've always already had an issue with my face being darker than the rest of my body, but just seeing how much my skin has improved there, it's absolutely mad. So yeah, anyways, let's continue. I'm interested to know what primer I'm using there. Coconut oil. I will never use coconut oil to moisturize my skin now before doing makeup. But anyways, so as it says, I'm using the NYX Pore Filler Primer. I actually don't use that anymore and I don't have it on me, but I do have the e.l.f. poreless putty primer, so I'm gonna put the e.l.f. one on. I kind of want to cheat and put the Milk Hydro Grip first, just because that's a primer that I always use. So I'm gonna just basically on the outskirts of my face, and then in like the center of my face I will go in with the e.l.f. one. Okay, so I'm gonna use a little bit of the e.l.f. poreless putty primer. I'm not really a fan of, let me not say I'm not a fan, but I don't tend to reach for poreless primers often, just because I don't have a major issue with pores, but obviously it does blur the skin, so that's a great thing. So I'm literally just going to use a little bit in this area, and it's always this area because these are the areas that I tend to break out the most. And it's funny, even 3 years ago it was the same thing, so that's quite interesting to see. But my skin has clearly changed massively compared to what it was before. Okay, so I've just prepped my skin. Let's see what's next. Alright girl, interesting. Okay, so as we can see, this is something that I still do to this very day, and I've got the same concealer, obviously different shade. Actually, I don't even know if it's a different shade or not, but I've got the same concealer, the LA Girl Pro Concealer. This is what I've always used to sculpt my brows before filling them in. This is something that I've been doing for years, but I did start using the Revolution Soap Brow recently, so I am actually gonna still do that step. Even though I've not done it there, I'm still gonna do it. So I'm just gonna quickly speed through this bit. Okay, so I'm going to use my LA Girl Pro Concealer. This is in the shade Beautiful Bronze, and funnily enough, I'm using the exact same brush that I was using 3 years ago. Interesting, some things just don't change. When something works for you, it just works for you. So I'm just going to quickly go underneath my brows. Okay, so brows are done. Ideally, I wouldn't have gone in with the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer because I do feel like it's slightly dried my skin out a little bit. My skin has been quite dry during this time of the season, so yeah, but it is what it is. It's MAC Painterly Paint Pot. Okay, so I don't have the MAC Painterly Paint Pot, but I've got my Revolution one, so I'm just going to use this instead. This is in the shade Medium, and it will do pretty much the same thing, except the consistency is obviously different. Okay, so I've prepped my eyes and I did set it with the Laura Mercier translucent powder. So let's see what is next. Okay, so I no longer have the Makeup Geek eyeshadow in Chickadee. but it was like a yellow shade, right? So let me just quickly analyze that again. Okay, so I don't have that same eyeshadow shade, but I do have this palette, which is from Makeup Revolution with Tammi. It's not exactly the same kind of yellow. That one was more of a mustard yellow. This yellow is a little bit different, but there is still a yellow in there. I just realized my camera cut out whilst I was applying that darker brown eyeshadow. I just used the brown shade from the Tammi Clark and Revolution palette, but it doesn't look dark enough for me, so I'm gonna go ahead with my Rare BH Cosmetics 2 palette, and I'm gonna grab this darker brown shade at the top because I feel like it will probably do a better job for me. So yeah, it does just deepen it up ever so slightly because it's a bit more of a neutral tone brown. As I said, blending is key, so make sure you get your blending right, which is what I'm working on right now. I'm just using that same brush that I applied the orange shade with. So as you can see by the video, I have gone back in with that painterly paint pot to basically do like a cut crease or whatever, or probably just to make the shadow more opaque. So I'm just going to use the same thing that I used earlier, which was the Revolution eyeshadow base. I'm not really one to cut the crease, so hopefully it comes out okay. This consistency will take a little bit longer to dry down because it's very different from the MAC Painterly Paint Pot. Okay, so I've just done the best that I can and this is what it's currently looking like. I accidentally did this one a little bit bigger, so I had to go back and basically match it with the other eye, and this is what we're looking like. It is still quite tacky, so I'm just gonna let it dry down a little bit and yeah, we can just go on from there. But whilst that's happening, let's see what we did next. Okay, that Reveal 2 palette, I actually don't have it anymore. I gave it away to someone, so I'm not going to use that, but it looked like I was using like a bronze sort of shade. I'm sure I can pick that up in another palette. I'm trying to think of the palettes that I have lying around me because I don't want to get up and have to go and get another palette. Oh, actually, yeah. So let's have a look. The Morphe palette that we used earlier, I'm just gonna grab this shade at the top here, which is pretty similar. It is obviously a little bit more on the bronze side than that one is, but I think it should do the job. Okay, I'm actually pretty happy with how this is looking at the moment. So let's just have a look and see what is next. Okay, so we have some glitter. So here I used a glitter shadow. I don't actually have a glitter shadow that's similar to that. I do obviously have some of the glitters in the Tammi palette, but they're not anywhere as close to the shade that I need to go for this. So I've got one of Revolution's single glitter pots. This is the loose glitter in Partey. It was on sale for like £2, I think. And I do have the NYX glitter primer as well. So I'm gonna basically apply the glitter primer and then go in with the glitter. That's the only way it's going to work. So I'm just going to use a flat detail brush to apply that primer. Hopefully it works. I've never tried it before, but let's see. Right, let's apply this glitter now. Oh, I'm just going to put it out in the lid. Okay. Oh, this looks good. I like the way this is going on. Okay, blimey, my eyes are blinging. Make sure that none of this gets in my eye. I'm just going to quickly do the other eye now before it dries out. Okay guys, we have no fallout whatsoever in this eye except that I just touched and put glitter there. We have a little bit there, and that's just when I swiped it away from my eye because I was scared that it was going to go in my eye. So imagine if I didn't use this glitter primer. I would have had glitter all over my face. I've only got a little bit because obviously I swiped away some, but I like it. It's been a very, very long time since I've done glitter. I don't usually go in with glitter eyes like this anymore, but we're coming to the end of the year. Maybe you want to do something a little bit glittery, so this fits in and it actually looks pretty good. So I just want to quickly clean up this glitter right here. Let's just have a look and see what else I did. Okay, so foundation time, Bobbi Brown and Estee Lauder. So clearly back then it was really difficult for me to find like good matches in my foundations. So I often did have to mix my foundations. Okay, so I've just applied the Milk Hydro Grip Primer instead of the e.l.f. Poreless Putty one because my skin's feeling a little bit dry in this area, especially right now. So yeah, anyways, we're just gonna go right in. I don't have the I do have the this Bobbi Brown foundation, but in a different shade, and obviously the shade's not for me, so I'm not going to use that. And I do still have this Estee Lauder Double Wear foundation, but I do have it in a sample pot. This sample pot is in the shade Sandalwood, but I'm going to mix it with my New Caledonia NARS foundation because I need some help with this hyperpigmentation here. Hopefully the Estee Lauder works well for the rest of my face, but as per usual, gonna go in with New Caledonia around my mouth, and let's see how the application was back then 3 years ago. Oh wow, so I actually did the same thing, but obviously back then I was using a different type of shade to color correct. My knowledge has obviously increased, so it's actually interesting, and I was still using a beauty blender back then as well. Oh girl. Some things don't change. I mean, if it works and it's not broke, as they say, don't fix it. Anyways, I've got my beauty sponge with me right here. I still apply my foundation now the same way that I did back then, where I put some on my face and then go in and blend it out. So I'm gonna do that again, but I'm not gonna apply as much as I did there. I do find like less is a little bit more now, so if I feel like I need a little bit more, then I will of course go back in and add some more. I haven't used this foundation in a long time, so I actually did forget how it looked. Obviously I have applied only a little bit, but I really like the way it's looking. The shade is looking pretty good as well, I think obviously because of the time of year right now. So foundation done. I've gone for a medium coverage instead of a full coverage. Let's just have a look and see what we did next. Okay, so I still do have the same Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. I do have the MAC Pro Longwear as well, but the shade, it's not really a shade that I'll go in with at the moment. Okay, so I did try to look for the MAC Pro Longwear concealer. I just don't know where it is. I have so much makeup. But as a substitute, I'm going to use my e.l.f. Hydrating Concealer. This is in the shade Deep Chestnut because I'm also going to mix it with the same concealer that I used back then, which was this Anastasia palette. This is the Contour Cream Kit palette for deep skin. Yeah, it's been a while since I've used this, so I might actually start using this again. But this obviously was a regular concealer shade for me. As you can see, it's pretty much nearly done. So I'm going to mix that same shade and mix it with this e.l.f. concealer. And let's see what we come up with. Hopefully it's a decent match, but let's just see what we come up with. Right, let's blend. Gosh, the concealer shades that I used to go for were clearly too light for me back then, because now I would never wear a highlighter shade that light. It's just way too light for me. Way too light for me. Anyways, I'm just going to keep blending this out. Let's just quickly see what we set with. Okay, Laura Mercier translucent powder. I still have that now. Obviously not the exact same pot, but I still use that now. So I'm going to do the same and going with that after. Really enjoy my Kizomba music. Okay, so I'm using the Black Opal foundation stick to contour. I can't believe that I actually set my concealer before using that foundation stick, because that's not something that I would do now. So because I haven't blended this out already, I'm just going to quickly put on a foundation stick. I'm just going to go in with my Revolution foundation stick because I actually couldn't find this Black Opal foundation stick. Okay, so I'm just going to blend out the bronzer slash contour. Okay, so now I feel so much better blending this concealer out. Okay, so I did apply a little bit of the Laura Mercier medium deep around my mouth just to make sure that we are matching seamlessly. So let's have a look at what is next. Okay, so I used the MAC MAC Mineralizing Skin Finish to set my face after. I don't do this at the moment. I just prefer to go over and make sure that I've blended seamlessly. So at the moment, looking at my skin, I don't feel like I would even need a MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. But if I did need it, I would use my Laura Mercier translucent powder in medium deep. But right now I think my skin is looking pretty good. I think everything is nice and blended, so I don't feel like I need to go in with anything on top. So let's see what's next. Bronzer. Okay, so that was the CoverGirl Ebony bronzer. This was the bronzer that every black girl used back in the day. I obviously don't have that anymore. This was 3 years ago. But it is a bronzer with sort of like a warm red undertone. I'm just going to use my Beauty Bay bronzer, but I'm going to use the shade Cinnamon. This is the one that had the reddish undertone, if I can just get it open. So let's see what that does. It's actually pretty nice, to be honest, but you can see it does give that warm red undertone compared to this side. So I think it actually does the job that we need it to do. So still applying it. I'm actually watching it as I'm applying it now, so hopefully it is showing up on the screen at the same time too. But yeah, I still pretty much bronze / contour the same way that I did back then. Pretty happy with how that's looking. Okay, so let's just put a pause right there. I am going to go in with a brown eyeliner, as you guys can see. I'm just going to put a black gel liner just like right in my waterline, because yeah, I feel like you can't really see this brown liner too much. I've just done my lower lash line, pretty much built it up the same way I did my top lash line with the transition shade and then going in deeper and deeper. And obviously it does look quite smoky and sultry because I did add a brown liner right underneath that, not a brown liner, sorry, a brown eyeshadow right underneath the black eyeshadow. So yeah, let's just see what's next. Okay, so I set my face with the MAC Fix Plus. I don't have that. I've got this spray. It's just a cooling water fixing mist. Interesting that I did this before I put my eyelashes on, because I don't usually do it because I have to go in with mascara. So that's quite interesting that I did it that way. But nevertheless, I can see that I am going in with some eyelashes. Okay, so I used the House of Lashes Iconic Lashes, and guess what I've got here today? The House of Lashes eyelashes in Iconic. So I'm just going to quickly put that on and I will come right back. Okay, so I've put my lashes on and this is what they are looking like. It's been 3 years since I've worn these lashes and I actually like the way it looks. I already went in with my eyebrows because I noticed that my brows were already done in the video and I didn't even realize it. So as you can see for my lips, I'm putting something on the base of my lips. Back then I used to put LA Girl, some type of terracotta shade on my lips before I would go in with my lipstick. I don't think I have this sort of shade at the moment now. I'm just going to let it play on in the screen as it is in front of me right now, just to see what I do next. But yeah, this is what I used to do all the time and I would find that it makes my lipstick last longer. I also do go in with a brown lip liner, so I'm just going to quickly go ahead and do that now. I don't have a terracotta shade like that, but I've got the MAC Cork lip liner. I'm hoping that will do near enough the same thing. So I did use a brown lip liner. I'm just going to use a lip liner that I have here now. This is from LA Girl, funny enough, in the shade brown. Even though this does look good, I'm tempted to go in with a little bit of my Fenty Beauty matchstick. Okay, oh, I'm happy with that. So the Fenty matchstick is just ever so slightly deeper than this lip liner. The lipstick that I use is this one. It is the Luminous Beige 742. I don't know which range this is in. Yeah, it's nearly depotted, so as I scroll it up, nothing's coming up. But there is still some in there, so I'm just going to get a lip brush. Ooh, that looks good. It's obviously a beige pale nude shade. I might have to start using this more often. Completely forgot about it. So I've gone in with a liquid lipstick from Gerard Cosmetics. I don't actually use liquid lipsticks like that now, so yeah, I can't do that. But it looks like I've just put a setting spray, and that setting spray I no longer have. That was like my favorite drugstore setting spray. Looks like we're pretty much at the end of the video. I'm so surprised that I actually didn't even go in with a blusher. I'm so tempted to put blush on right now, but we are following the directions of this video, so I'm gonna leave it as it is. I'm just gonna do my hair, put some earrings on, and then I will come right back. Okay guys, we are back and this is the final look. I have to say I'm really happy with how this makeup look came out, and I'm also quite surprised to see like what things are the same in terms of how I used to do my makeup and also what's different. But yeah, I'm so surprised that I didn't even go in with a little bit of blusher, let alone a touch of highlighter. Yes, quite surprising. It's been a while since I've done a makeup look without using any blusher. I have quite a lot of blushes, so I've just got them here prepared to go in, and only to see that I didn't go in with any blusher. But yeah, this is the look. I think it actually looks pretty good. I guess because the bronzer did have like a warm red undertone, it does work really well. Ideally, I would have probably gone in with a bronzer with a little bit more of a red undertone just in this area if I knew that I wasn't going to wear blush, but then that would be cheating a little bit. So yeah, I mean, some of the products were the same, some of them were clearly different and not the same. Also, my techniques and my style of makeup has changed quite a bit as well. I'm pretty impressed with how I did my eyeshadow back then. I do think it did come out a lot better right now. So this is even a look that you can do for New Year's or Christmas, whatever type of celebration look, or if this is just a look that you do on a daily basis, then you go and do you, boo. But yeah, this is it guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching me recreate my first ever makeup video, which was 3 years ago. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Give this video a thumbs up, of course. Don't forget to subscribe if you are not already, and I hope that I will see you all in my next video. Bye.